Hi Pisces, welcome to Psychic Consultants. This is Agatha and this is your love reading for June 2016. I'm sorry I wasn't able to upload readings for May. I had a lot of technological issues and it does actually take a lot longer and it's a lot more complicated than it seems to upload the 12 videos. But I am going to be changing that. And so that will be running much more smoothly from next month. And I've also got something very exciting planned for next month. So do keep your eyes peeled for that and subscribe if you haven't subscribed so you get that when it's uploaded. I'm still having a few little issues, so the sound might be a little bit iffy, but hopefully you can hear me. And that's the important thing. So let's see what the cards have to say for you for love for June 2016, Pisces. Okay, so bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. This is all about clarity and new beginnings. Clarity is what we want. We might feel as though we want happiness, but actually clarity is really a really great place to be in. It's a driving force. And this is the sword of truth and the victory sword, the Ace of Swords. It's a new beginning, a new victorious beginning, a true victory, and a finding of one's own truth. So that's really great, and a great card to have as a bit of a theme card for the month. So the rest of the cards for you, we have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Actually, I'm going to just move this. The Ten of Pentacles. The Five of Cups. And the Emperor. Up a little bit more for you. That's better. Sorry about this. So the Four of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Emperor. For your love, we have the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Nine of Swords, which has been showing up a little bit often, the Nine of Swords. Crowning, the energy they bring, the energy you bring, and the Root we will look at a little bit later. And then, as I said, the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. Right, so you start off with this Four of Pentacles. So this can indicate holding on to things. It's a bit of a lack mentality card. It's about saving up and holding on to things. And in relationships, this means like you're not really, for the beginning of June anyway, you're not really giving anything away. So it feels like you have a few kind of, what I'm getting is that it's not even trust issues, it's just like, I think this person is a bit back and forth, and when they're back, you don't feel like you want to give. It feels like they're leading it. So it's like, when you perceive that they're not really doing much, you hold back. So I feel like you're kind of entering in with this kind of, I'm not really going to give anything away to you. But the interesting thing is they are actually building something with you, and that's for you to be aware of. They have got this Three of Pentacles. This is about building something of glory, but yes, it looks a bit slow. So I feel as though maybe you're perceiving that things aren't moving forward and they're not giving you anything, and then you need to kind of not give anything and hold things back. But you may not be aware that, yes, it's slow, but they are building something together with you, and there is this teamwork going on, at least on their side. Their perception is that you're building something. And I feel like you feel as though they're not moving fast enough. And then things aren't going ahead the way that you want them to. but they are, and maybe you just can't see it. And also, you know, when you're holding back, you can't feel it. You're not going to feel as though you're building something if you're holding on to things and you're not giving anything away. So maybe just loosen up a little bit and let go, and then I feel like you will be able to see how they are working together with you to build something, and they perceive that anyway. So just to let you know that they perceive that, even if you don't. And it is a 3 and 4. You know, it is the 3 and 4 of Pentacles. There is a bit of a kind of follow on from that. It doesn't really make sense that it's like they're doing this 3 of Pentacles and then you kind of turn up with the 4 of Pentacles in response, and it's like, well, why would you hold on? It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense for you to come at them with the 4 of Pentacles when they're doing this 3, and I feel like it's because you don't perceive that things are moving ahead when they actually are. Then, though, things seem to speed up when they come here. They come in very fast, moving forward very fast with this Knight of Swords rushing towards you. The Knight of Swords is my the fastest knight, and he knows what he wants and he's really going for it. He's kind of holding that Ace of Swords and holding that truth. So I do feel like this person, they then find this this clarity and rush towards you, and then you feel great about that. This is your dream come true. This is everything happening. This is the culmination and the completion of things. This is can be a card of marriage and legacy and connection and completedness. So, you know, and taking love out into the community. This is what this card really means for me, which is one of my favorite things. So, you know, it's not just about being in a partnership and being a couple. It's about spreading that love out into the world, having an abundance of things, an abundance of these pentacles, an abundance of wealth of everything. There's wealth of money, there's wealth in love, there's wealth in time, there's wealth in connection. And it feels like that's definitely what you experience when they come rushing towards you. But I suppose the thing is, you need to be able to kind of experience that whether or not they're making loads of effort. And it feels as though you require a lot of effort for you to kind of let go. And it's really like, no, you know, you just be that 10 of Pentacles no matter what they're doing. But it seems like kind of in that, then you know, you're giving them way too much power. You're disempowering yourself by saying, you know, it's like dependent on how they're being, how you react. You feel very reactive. So it's like you react to the 3 with the 4. It's not fast enough, so I'm going to hold back. I'm going to put the brakes on. Then you move really, really fast. Okay, everything's amazing. You know, but then they seem to... Something happens. Something happens here. It's like, you know, maybe it's like it's a bit too good to be true, but it feels like it kind of, there's a breaking, and it's because of the way you are being too reactive to them. It's too swingy, it's too mood swingy, it's a bit bipolar. So it's just like you go from this holding back suddenly to this rush of completion. They go from this kind of holding back suddenly to this rush of completion. But it's just like what's real, and it is about finding this truth. Sometimes we do need to explore the spectrum at the opposite end to find our truth, to find the middle ground. But it really feels like it kind of breaks here, and but it feels like it's you, because this 3 of Swords, it feels like it's born of this 5 of Cups. I mean, it's kind of interesting because in this 5 of Cups, he's looking the other direction here. So when this 5 of Cups turns up for you, it's like there's no love away from this person. All the love is with this person. But you're still looking at the love, no love away from them. So I'm not quite sure actually who seems to instigate this. It seems like it's a kind of a joint thing that it seems to kind of explode. 10s are about kind of endings as well. But if this doesn't get sustained, then it kind of has to it feels like it breaks. And then you experience this feeling that it's gone. the love seems to have gone, but it hasn't gone. It's still there. It's still here. You just have to turn around and see it. You feel as though the love has gone. That then kind of, they experience that the love is gone. It feels like it's happening for a reason. It feels like there's this imbalance here, and you were giving too much focus to them, too much energy on them and what they're doing, and it's not really working. And that's why it kind of breaks, because it's not stable and it's not working that way. But it's important for you to know that, yes, there is love here. There really is still love here. You just need to turn around and see it in that Five of Cups. But it seems relevant for them. I mean, it has a big impact upon them, a really bigger impact upon them. I feel like you're not really perceiving them kind of that accurately. And I think that's why this is happening, to give the truth. We'll see what happens with these middle cards. But it feels like your perception is slightly a little bit off. And then you have this perception here that there's no love here. And you probably are communicating that. And then that kind of breaks them. And I think you think they're less sensitive than they are. And that you don't realise how much impact you have upon them. But I also get that they're meant to be feeling this Three of Swords. For me, this Three of Swords, this heartbreak, is like your heart breaking open. And, it's like these three swords are in there. They're painful, these three swords, but they're being put in there by oneself to try and hold the heart together. The heart doesn't need to be held together. The heart can do its own thing. And it's actually more when we stop loving, when we stop letting the heart do its thing, what it wants to do, we perceive that there isn't room for us to love. That we put these swords into the heart to try and hold it together, and that's what hurts. What's painful is trying to hold the heart together. So just take those swords out, and that's kind of what they need to do. But it feels like it's a lesson that they need to learn. There seems to be like a hypersensitivity between the two of you. Like there's a lot of reactivity. Like this happens, and then this big thing happens. It seems quite volatile. There is love here, though. There is love here. There is love, but it's just like it needs to, in this month, in June, it's like it needs to be honed, that you're not so dependent. It feels codependent, and it needs to that codependency needs to break. That's really what this is about. It's a big deal for them. They have this 3 and then they have this 9, so they're really worried about it, and there's a lot of anxiety. It seems as though you kind of step into your own more with this Emperor. You get stronger. You move to a stronger position, and they feel like they're really worried about it. But I don't feel like this worry is relevant. This 9 of Swords, it's indicative of a lot of worry, but it feels as though it's all of the mind, and it's not actually really there. It's just that kind of middle of the night when everything seems to be bad when it isn't really. That's what that card is about. So to me, it really doesn't feel as though there's a big problem, but they may perceive it so. I'm going to flip over the middle card. So crowning the two of you is the Two of Cups. Awesome. See, there is love here. I did know that, and those Two of Cups there. The energy they bring in is the Knight of Cups. The energy you bring in is the Eight of Swords. Interesting. And then the energy at the root is the Strength card. This is very interesting. So they perceive, they have love for you, but they then perceive that somehow there's a bit of a block. Weirdly, it feels like this 10 of Pentacles is what causes that. It's like sometimes when this 10 of Pentacles is such a big energy, it feels like it might be a bit too good to be true. And it seems to cause, I don't know what happens here, but I think maybe it just feels a little bit off to you. And then you get a bit paralyzed by this Eight of Swords. It's like you're trying to work it out. I think it just feels a bit too much. But this 10 of Pentacles and then this 5 of Cups, I think there's this kind of back and forthness in the two of you, and this codependency. So you get kind of paralyzed with this Eight of Swords, and so they perceive that this love that they have for you, they can't give to you. They have to kind of take it in the other direction, and that leads them to this kind of heartbreak. They have all this love they have for you, But it seems like there's just a bit of miscommunication and, like I said, reactivity and kind of not quite getting the gist of each other. But there really is, you're crowned by this love connection. It's a deep soul love connection. To see and be seen is kind of the most difficult thing to do. And I feel like this is what's happening. And don't worry about this kind of back and forthness and learning, because it's giving you the clarity. You're learning how to embody this, and it's not as easy as it looks. This is balanced. This is old. This is knowing. But sometimes we don't know how to make that real on a day-to-day basis, and this is just the process of that. So, kind of go with it. Just go with it. These swords, this 8 and 9 of swords for the both of you, they really, but they're not real. It really is just the way you're thinking about things. So you can be aware of that. So don't overthink. Just kind of let the heart kind of take over a little bit more, rather than the mind and the thinking. But you do seem to be like kind of a little bit paralyzed by these two polar ideas, like that this is everything, and it is everything. This is true that it is everything. And then you kind of also perceive that it's nothing, and it is that kind of love is everything and nothing and everything in between. And so you're kind of learning that. But if you try and work that out, is it this or is it this, then you're going to kind of like paralyze yourself. So it's like, it's not either or, it's and. And it really does depend on our perspective, and our perspectives are always shifting. So it's, one day it seems like it's this, the next day it seems like it's that. But it's always, sorry, that was wrong. It's always this. But we have to learn to, that they are those two aspects of that connection. And that's just what you're exploring here, and you're getting that truth from it, so don't worry about it. But the way it plays out is that you feel kind of paralyzed by your thoughts, and then they kind of take their love elsewhere, and you might feel like, they're taking their love elsewhere, and therefore you're kind of paralyzed as well. But just remember that crowning is the 2 of Cups, and there is always love here, and just get seeking it. Just remember to seek it. At the root, we have the Strength card. That does read to me, just be strong. Weirdly, it kind of, what I'm getting is tame your instincts. Sometimes our instincts are reactive. Sometimes they're not accurate. Instinct is kind of a bit of a biological thing. So it's, it can be quite dangerous sometimes. The instinct of a lion, is to kind of kill this gorgeous lady, really. But sometimes we have to kind of hold our instincts back, because especially when they're being reactive, and kind of hone them a bit into love with this figure here with the infinity symbol above her head. So it's about honing those instincts, not being so reactive, and stepping into love and embodying infinite and unconditional love. That's what this is about. Essentially, there's no problem here. It feels like there's kind of there is a lot of back and forth, but you're just exploring that spectrum of love. These are all different aspects of the spectrum of love, and of true love, which is here, which is helping you to find that clarity. So just be aware of that. So I'll put a little outcome extra advice card. So that's the Sun. Wonderful. This is all about liberation, freedom. It's also a card of optimism for me. It's like, remain optimistic. This is where you're headed for. You're headed for true freedom. Freedom from this codependency. Freedom from being so reactive to one another. Freedom from being so sensitive with one another. You're heading to complete and utter joy and innocence of that childlike innocence and joy, and purity on that gorgeous white horse there. So just be aware that that's what you're moving towards here, and that's where you're going to go by the end of the month. You're going to feel, wow, okay, the clouds have parted and I can see the truth. You cut through the clouds with that sword, Ace of Swords. The sun starts shining, and you really are in that liberated, true state. And that's what you want. So it all works out right in the end. And we do, we have to explore the spectrum, the full spectrum of love, to know who we are within it, to know what it is fully, and to, choose how we want to be and love one another in freedom and liberation in that Sun card, and that's where you're headed. Right, so that was really interesting, Pisces. A great month for growth, for truth, for clarity, and for strength. You know, you've got this Emperor. You end up kind of in this Emperor position. You know, he knows his own self. So that's good. You know, he is the Emperor of his own empire. You've got to know yourself and be solid in who you are. And that feels like this is what's happening. If you're interested in a personal reading, I'll put the details below. Otherwise, please do comment if you'd like to, and share. I'm interested, as I said, in building a community together that's really built on loving one another. It's not just about our deep personal connections. It's about using those as an anchor for love and then getting love out there. That's kind of the way that I perceive it. I've got something very exciting planned for next month, so subscribe if you haven't. Otherwise, have an incredible June, lots of love, and I will see you again very soon.